In this video, we are going to explore the power of storytelling as a means to build up your fluency and confidence in English speaking. The more you speak, the more confident you will become. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel Cornerstone Skills, and I'm on a mission to help you gain fluency in your English and confidence in your communication skills. So let us dive into this fascinating world of storytelling and let us see how we can unlock your potential to become a confident speaker in English. So whether you're telling a story or an anecdote, it is important that you remember these 4 points. Now, what's an anecdote? An anecdote is an interesting short stories about real life incidents. So we're going to talk about interesting stories that happened to us in the past. I love to share anecdotes rather than sharing these once upon a time stories. So I request you that always you make a note of the interesting anecdotes that have happened in your life in the past. Probably when you went out on a family picnic or you had a get together with your friends, there could be something interesting that could have happened. So make a note of it in case you feel that you will not remember them. So what are the 4 parts that you should remember? The first one is the beginning. It is so important how you start a story to catch the attention of the listeners. You could say like, guess what happened? Shall I tell you something interesting? Do you want to hear something? It could be in your own way, but you should make sure that your first line, your beginning should catch the attention of the listeners. Now, what is the second part? The second part is we have a tendency when we tell a story, we can go on saying, and you know what happened, and then, we say a lot of ands. So you could use better connecting words. You could use better connecting words like then, later on, after that, subsequently, next. So that would make the story more interesting. So that is the second part. Now the third part is suddenly as you are telling the story, there could be a breakup, which we could call it a kind of an interruption, and the tone of the story changes. You could say, lo and behold, what happened? Or suddenly, and then what happened? So the tone of the story changes, and you could use different words like suddenly or lo and behold. Now the fourth point is finally, at the end. How do you conclude? The conclusion is generally different for different stories. So some would have an exciting ending, or for some stories the ending could taper down. So you could say finally, at last, alas. So these are the endings of the story. So always remember, the story is always narrated in the past tense because you are talking about something that happened yesterday or last week or last month. Unless there is a conversation that happens in between, that conversation would be in the present tense. Now, let me tell you a story, and I want you to listen carefully and see how we apply all these points into the story. Okay, so here I go. Do you want to hear something interesting that happened last week when I went shopping with my daughter to the supermarket? We shopped all around the supermarket. We bought a lot of provisions and we filled our trolley with much more than we could carry. Later on, after we finished our shopping, we walked towards the counter. And there was a long queue, but fortunately, the queue was moving fast. The line was moving fast. We were almost at the counter with just a gentleman, an elderly man in front of us. But then we felt it was taking a long time. We wondered what happened. Then we noticed that the elderly gentleman, he was short of 1 rupee to pay to the cashier. He searched all over his pockets, he searched everywhere. He could not find the 1 rupee coin that had to be given. Suddenly, note the tone. Suddenly, lo and behold, do you know what my daughter did? She stretched out her hand with a 1 rupee coin and she told the cashier, "Shall I pay the 1 rupee for this gentleman?" The cashier unashamedly, he took that 1 rupee, and the old man, he apologized. He was so relieved. He was so thankful to my daughter. And he told her, "You definitely have a place in heaven." And with that, he walked out with his trolley. After we made our payment and left the place, I was intrigued by my daughter's kind gesture. And I asked her, "What was it that prompted you to pay that 1 rupee coin?" With a look of solemnity on her face, she responded, "Mom, didn't you notice the long queue with a number of people waiting behind us? Some of them looked so tired after a hard day's work. Many of them were old people, and a few of them had babies in their hands. And all this, people are waiting just for a 1 rupee payment to be made." Wow, I was dumbfounded. Remember, use exclamations wherever necessary. I was dumbfounded. Finally, at last, we drove back home, and I thought to myself, how many of us would empathize with people waiting in a crowd? There was something that we all needed to learn. So, okay, I hope you understood the story and how the different points were attached to the story. I want you to listen and understand and reproduce the story once again. If there are certain words where you do not know the meaning, I would like you to check the meaning of the word and make a note of it. That is how you improve your vocabulary. So get ready with your story, with your anecdote, and be prepared to share it with someone else. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell button. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.